Yeah, I know how we do. Black Fox give you the news for community service, and I got something to prove. Don't get me wrong, if there's a choice to get the bag, I'ma choose. I put in work to rap about facts we can actually.
Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report / editor's note. You know what I'm saying? I had to let y'all know on Thursday, you know, you had that Supreme Court decision that just rang around throughout the entire United States and maybe even possibly throughout the world. People are weary of the implications of this. It's even gotten out there. But back to the news. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Ed Plum. This is a white dude that brought up a lawsuit saying that him and Asian Americans are discriminated against in their college admissions with North Carolina, the University of North Carolina that is, and University of Harvard. And the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 in his favor. The implications of this is that now college admissions will no longer consider race and having race conscious admissions is what they've been labeling it as. But they can no longer consider race as a reason for admission. You know what I mean? This is what affirmative action was about. Oh, you're black. We know that you're disenfranchised. We know that your people actually were come from slavery and were systematically denied rights, denied civil rights, denied their 14th Amendment protection, and discriminated against and kept from actually attaining wealth in multiple ways. We acknowledge all of that, and for that reason, we know the SAT is your admissions a lot of times are based on the SATs, and the SATs are essentially racist because of the fact that they only reflect how well put together a person's family was, you know what I'm saying, or how educational and positive their environment wasn't a measure of intelligence. We know all of these things, and for that reason, because we hold access to resources by you going into our program, not only receiving the knowledge, but receiving the connections, and then getting this degree and going to corporate America, like, we know this is a huge pipeline towards resources for you and your family. And so we're going to give you that shot to actually be considered, because we know if we see what you could do, because we know if we don't do that, racism prevails. So that's kind of what affirmative action was, and they bailed on that with regards to college admissions. Now, black people who are up in arms that this is the end all be all for affirmative action and just for black people's well-being, period, I think you're wrong. But to the people that are acting like it's nothing, it doesn't mean anything, you're wrong too. Here's the reality. This could have major implications on how affirmative action is dealt with outside of just college admissions. We might be talking jobs, employment, and then back to the regular old smuggler, which is like, loans and grants and this, that, and the third, whatever. Like, all that shit could be gone. You know what I'm saying? But as far as college admissions, that is where it stays. You have to be aware of the fact that all of the conservative-leaning judges voted against this shit. The only people who voted for it were the justices who were appointed by Joe Biden and Obama. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. That should be considered at the end of the day. Since we want to talk about the racist parties and all of that shit or whatever, I'm not trying to hear that, the affirmative action is racist bullshit. If you're not going to acknowledge the history, you're not trying to have a fair conversation. But same time, black people, we already supposed to be militant. We already supposed to be on time. We already supposed to be focused up. We already supposed to be holding ourselves down, holding the fort the fuck down. So, and it's for reasons just like this. Because they, just like that, they can deny us access to resources. These people might have had motherfucking colleagues or whatever that might have even been on their level because of affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Justice Clarence Thomas, that was the thing that he had, just being always feeling like everybody on his campus thought he was there because of affirmative action. You might have been there for affirmative action. That don't mean you're not intelligent. It's the whole point. Ketanji Brown Jackson, Justice Jackson, she actually, went to Harvard at the end of the day. Maybe it could have been affirmative action. That don't mean she's not a fucking beast, probably, and maybe even the smartest person up there. Definitely the smartest person, probably she knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's to correct racism, people. And what is more racist than the fact that with this affirmative action shit, motherfuckers want to scream and talk about how it's like, oh, it's such a racist thing. White women benefit the most from it. You know what I'm saying? Because, when black people, we initiate things as far as like human rights, civil rights and all of that, whatever, it doesn't just benefit us, it benefits all marginalized people. But I digress. Black people, we already supposed to be militant. You know what I'm saying? Shit like this ultimately should not be able to affect us. Of course it's an effect. Of course it's a problem. I think our people should actually work legislatively to get that back, unless they want to start talking about reparations way more seriously than they talking about in Cali. But if we're going to talk about moving us on to the path of us being self-sufficient as a people, shit like this ain't supposed to matter. That's why moves like what Deion Sanders did with going from coaching at Jackson State University and then transferring to Colorado University before his contract was up, before he completed the mission. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes moves like that. And Colorado University, or all-white university, for those who don't know, Jackson State University is a HBCU or whatever. That's what makes moves like that so crucial. Motherfuckers were like, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's sports. Like, no. This is about resources. This is about survival. Self-preservation. He want to try to mask what he's doing that. Oh, well, I'm trying to get, a look and a spotlight on black coaches so they can move over there. I mean, that's what he's basically letting it be known as or whatever, and everybody's sticking up for him, saying that shit or whatever. Cut it the fuck out. That's not the mission. And that wasn't your original mission. But I digress. That's what makes moves like that so important. That's what makes moves like when Jay-Z went around calling Kaepernick's knee and made a deal with the NFL. So important. That's what makes moves like that so crucial and critical to our survival, and they deserve to be scrutinized. Y'all see they brought the XFL back. This happened a couple years. You mean to tell me we couldn't have had our own league up and running by then? And we let the XFL come in the spring, and ain't nobody was watching that. If we had our own shit, they watching. If we had a fucking football league, the same ideas kind of Tupac was having, whatever. We had a football league, each rapper or big black entertainer pause, like, holding or owning one of each team and having niggas have a league, that shit would get all the views, motherfucking worldwide. These are the type of games we playing. I think we're supposed to do everything legislatively to preserve our power and survival in the United States, but that's still small potato. You know what I'm saying? We really need to be letting like the kids and the elders handle that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to be handled, but it's a little more of a slow-paced game right there. You gotta get the protesting. You gotta be showing up at these meetings. You gotta be in the ears of these politicians, and then you gotta do it that as many times over as the amount of politicians you wanna communicate with, because it's about the voice for the people. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended. It says Black Fox News. You did. But all things I think everybody should think about, we already supposed to be on that type of time where we should be self-preserving. And if this doesn't alarm you, then you just the fucking away. Or the ops. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. Greenwood on graduation, man.
Snitch network, middle finger to that with the star. On the road to success, was buck wild, but your hating antics went too far. Everyday struggle kicked you out the car.